Hello, welcome back for the next episode of me trying to make a game as a noob game developer using AI tools. In the last episode, we set up the first infrastructures for charging. So our little vacuum robot. Let me just press play and quickly show where we're at now. So we have a game where we are playing as an AI and we can take control of all of the devices that are controllable within the scene. So for example, this little Roomba, I can control it. It now consumes power when I'm moving, more so than when idling. It also consumes some power when idling, but when I move around it will, and I need to make sure that I charge before it runs out. And we also allow ourselves to charge on this charger device that we see on the left, which is also consuming some power, as you can see. But it also consumes a lot of power, or a lot more, when we're actually charging. Now, one thing that we didn't finish last time is that while if I go in, charging starts. If I go out, charging stops. But if I stay in and I complete my charge, the charge is still going to go down rapidly. So having a full charge state does not stop the charger from starting, which doesn't make sense because the energy should just go somewhere and it can't go anywhere. What also happens is that even if the charge is empty on this side, I can still keep charging. So the power status of the charger does not affect yet whether or not you can actually charge. So we need to kind of finalize this whole charging situation. And if we do that, I would say we are definitely at half of the game loop, which is moving around and getting charged. And you need to kind of do that. And the next half is basically collecting dust, transferring dust, burning it to create power. And that's the second half, and that will close kind of the loop. So in this episode, I would just finalize the whole power infrastructure charging things, because there's still quite a bit of things that need to be optimized and some code refactoring. And that would, if we can do that within this episode, that would be nice. And then on the next episode, we can start thinking about resources and dust and resource storage and collecting dust and etc. Which, if we generalize some of the classes that we're using here for charging, can maybe be reused some parts, because basically our power module can receive, store, and transfer charge, and the resources would be kind of the same thing. We have resources that go in, you can store, and you can go out. While it's not 100% the same thing, because the resources are like physical items and charge is just like electricity, so there will be some differences, but I hope we can reuse some parts of the code in order to do so. I will quickly check if audio is good on the stream, but I hope we can reuse. Yeah, that seems fine. All right, so let's get going. So we have our power module, which has a zone allocated to it that triggers the charging when we roll into that zone with our little Roomba. Now, we actually already put quite a bit of code in that zone, but I'm thinking of moving that code to the power module, because the zone's job is to just solely be detecting a device and triggering the connected power module to start charging. So basically, rather than calling our own method here to start charging, I would rather call that on this device. So meaning that I would transfer this code to our power module. Let's see, device power module. Let's go to the bottom here, start charging, and then we will say device, or yeah, module power. That's fine, that sounds good. And so we will use a parameter. There you go. And this is actually just this then. Yeah, this. Remove the code. Max charge rate is also not something that should be set on the zone. The zone doesn't care about that, it's the power module. Let's go in here. Max charge rate. And this also sets it up for maybe later to add max discharge rates, but we currently don't have that. Currently, you can have an infinite amount of device modules taking power. So this supposedly should work, but in the zone itself, we now should say this device module dot start charging, but it's not public. Oh, it is. Why is it not working? What does it say? There's no argument. Oh, hey, we need the arguments, obviously. So you start charging the other device module, basically. That's what's happened. Same here. Should autopilot should, there you go. Which means that this component now only does a one thing, or at least a certain set of things that are related to each other. It basically detects yeah, it just links two power modules. So the zone is basically linking two power modules, and that's all it needs to do. Now there's a bit of a weird things going on here is to find those things, because that's kind of it's a bit of a hassle, but let's keep it like that because we need to like do this whole string of getting these devices, but I think it's fine. Now there's a few things that we also need to do, and that is on the device power module we want to make some references as well. Total power draw, total power charge, current charge, max charge, yes. Power drawing device modules, and actually I want a new list of power charging device modules, because we would like to just to keep things a bit generic. Let's get rid of all this. Update total power charge, and that function should be the same as this. You should know what I want. There you go. It's basically a power module can be connected to any amount of power consumers or power chargers, and it will just loop all over them, and it will just tally all of the consumption, and it will put it all into the total power draw. Get total power draw. So we should also add get total power charge. Yes, so get total power draw. Public get total power charge. There we go. Update total power draw. Update. Yes. Set total power charge. Do I ever use that? Don't think I do. Oh yeah, I do. Add power drawing device, and then we need the same for add power charging device, remove power charging device, and then starting charging are these things that are called. So when a power module starts charging, it's charging something else, and what is that other thing? It's the thing that is currently in its zone. And maybe we should put a reference to that zone as well. I don't know if we definitely need it right now, but let's say game object charging zone. There you go. Right, so this kind of works. The only problem is now that we need to be able to shut down the charger. Wait. Oh yeah, first of all, if is powered, is false, then you can't do that. You can't start charging if powered is false. Now, on the other hand, what if we're already charging and the power status changes? Do we have that on our device module? Update power status, but I think it's a device module thing. Update power status. There you go. So basically, any function or any method that is running that requires power should be stopped, should stop running. No, we should add add power charging device module. There we go. And that module should be this. Remove this again. Things need to be able to be shut down. Which means that on update, we should like check if powered. Status, charging status, and the thing is that if power charging device modules, no, not really, it's more like the charge. If current charge, there you go, bigger than 0, then 0. That's not what I'm looking for though. Is powered. Is a device module by itself powered? Or am I only checking if, yeah, if is powered. That's all I need to check though. If is powered, then if, well actually there's only, if not is powered, then we say stop charging. But what are we stop charging? That's true, we need to stop charging everything that we're charging at the moment. How do we know what we're charging? They become a power drawing device module. Currently, we're just not making a distinction between things that we are charging and things that we are powering, which in theory is kind of like the same. The thing is that we do the thing in a sense that says start charging and stop charging. We don't, because we could also do it separately and just say, well, as long as you're here, you're charging, and then it's more like an update thing rather than starting to charge. But this results in less calls because this only needs to get called once when you're entering and once when you're out. I think we should just use the zone maybe. And keep a list here of all device module powers that are currently charging here. And that distinguishes them from the installed modules on the device. Charging module power. Z. There you go. Now we can say public get all charge public list get charging module powers. There you go. And now we distinguish that because now we can loop or there you go. No, so now we do need to have a reference to our zone. Game objects. Oh, well, let's just call it zone charging. Zone charging. This name is really bad. I'll change it. It's not really, so I'll call it a charging zone. Let's also rename it here. Charging zone. Paste it. Then we go into here and let's change this as well. And we can do this, and this is a charging zone. It's not a bad thing to have a reference to my charging zone. All right. And then here we're talking about charging zone. Oh yeah, we should definitely like call base start. That's fine. But then also say charging zone. Right, find charging zone. Will I find it? How will I find it? Game object. No, I need to find it in this. Find in children. No, it's a child. Find child. Transfer or find charging zone. Game which component charging. Okay, there you go. And then we say all right, so it's module power. No, device module power in for all the things charging zone dot get charging module powers. We do stop charging that thing. There you go. So if we're not powered anymore, shut down all charging for anything that's in my charging zone. That kind of makes sense. It sounds, I mean, I feel like a lot of the code is a bit convoluted now. On the other hand, like, not much more than this will be needed, and it will cover a lot of different things, I think. But maybe I'm making this more difficult than it needs to be, because this all requires maybe way too much compute for a simple thing like keeping things powered and charging things. I don't know. Right, that's one way to stop charging. There's another thing. Oh, I see. This is encrypt should be removed. Charging zone. There you go. And that is when, but that's called by the device itself. So charging zone, I should have a reference to, well, in these things, power charging device modules. Yeah, I need to stop it in all of these devices, which usually is just one. No, but that's the thing. If it's powered, update charging to. But we should have, like, we can also update charging status. We should check another thing. If our charge, current charge equals max charge, then we should check, no, we shouldn't check our charging zone. That's not what I'm looking for. We should stop charging in all of the power charging device modules, which kind of, so with that, I'll go stop charging of all devices charging off of this power module if it is not power. And this is the other way around. It's like stop charging of chargers. There you go. So actually, I think this kind of covers it. This one is saying if I'm not powered, stop charging for anything that was using my power to be charged. This one is saying if so you need to say that both of these are actually the same thing and they're charging each other depending on which power source is in whose zone, because currently this power source doesn't have a zone, and it shouldn't have because it's not a charger. Or we should add it and then disable it, because it depends on two-way charging, and then you kind of have to set, like, can you actually do two-way charging? But whatever, let's just keep it simple, which it already isn't anymore, I think. I don't know, maybe it is more simple than I think it is, because these are all very simple functions. And we have to keep in mind that at some point these functions might still be relevant, because there will be a lot of things connected to each other also with power cables, because now we're using a charger zone, which is kind of like a wireless thing almost. But at some point we can use these all power sources will be interconnected with each other. But again, let's not think too much about that. So update charge is just updating the own charge, and then it's checking all of what it's doing to charging other things, and then that happens. Let's just test it. It might already work, but I'd be surprised if it does. Let's see. So what needs to happen is this works. We need to charge, and when it's full, it should have stopped charging, which it did not do, right? So we should get some debugs in here. Debug. Oh, And let's also quickly check. There's loads of errors. Actually, so there's like references that are not working probably. Here. This is not working. Transform form. Obviously don't find it because I changed its name while it was in play. Ridiculous. Why would I do that? So let's try it again, because that might have been the only reason why it didn't work. Oh, that's not true, actually. Because, like I said, my other one doesn't have a charging zone, so I won't find it. So I will do it very easily, like a serialized fields. It's a bool that I need, but not this. Is charger. And then we just need to do if is charger. Then only then we need to find our charging zone. If our power thingy is not a charger, then we shouldn't bother. So if you go back to the scene, we need to toggle this on and off, and the Roomba's power module is not a charger. So we turn it off, save the scene. This one is a charger, so we give it a charging zone. Let's start. Let's see. No errors, that's good. It's not working though. It's not charging though, so that's kind of working. Why is it not charging? Because there's no power, right? That works. If I go away, it works, but it needs to stop. Stop. Stopping charging of all devices charging off of this power module. Power is off, so it did actually work. Why didn't it actually stop charging? Like saying it worked, saying it got called. Power is off. Stop charging of all devices. For each device module power in charging zone, get. Right, let's. Can I serialize this? It is serialized, so let's check this here. Who's. Obviously, yeah, because. It's added, so that works. This device. Oh. Can I see which one it is? Yes, the Roomba, so that's correct. Might be doing the wrong thing though. So what am I? sending it. I'm saying stop charging device, charging off of this, and I'm saying stop charging. So the one I'm sending should be true though. Move power charging device module. It gets removed from that list. Where are these lists actually? We're not serializing them. Let's do that so we can look at them. Stop. Let's go to this power module. You have a list here somewhere. Power drawing device modules. That's correct. Do you have any charging devices? No, obviously not, because you're not charging. So let's stop pausing. Stop. I have a charger now. This one, correct. That is now charging me. That's correct. It's in that list. Let's go to device module. Device module power. Am I using this? I want to see that list as well. At some point there's going to be a lot of refactoring, but not right now. Let's just get things working first conceptually. Compiler errors. Oops. Well, let's still add protected then. Let's see. That fixes it. It does. Okay. Let's pause. Let's go check. 4 things, no charging. Then here, charging zone. Nothing is in the charging zone. Honestly though, we should definitely this should happen on initialized zone or something. Although this can happen immediately. No, that's not true. We can do this immediately. This has nothing to do with installed devices. Well, oh yes it does. That's the thing. Why am I doing this? I actually have it. I have it already here. Nah, I'm just looping around. Jesus. Yeah, so that's why I can't actually do it. Don't need this. There you go. Because I was wondering why it wasn't set yet, because that's something that's always there. Okay, we can do this. Pause. So, charging zone now has its own linked power. That's fine. Nothing. That's correct. What else was all I wanted to check? Oh yeah, power drawers. No, every network has its like list of, but it's not showing. Like this list here, dictionary, which I think you just can't do. I don't think you can serialize, so that's fine. Okay, never mind. So we can't actually see that, but it should work. Now let's continue. Oh, okay. Let's move into space. Stop. This one, it has now a charger linked to it because it's in its zone. Let's go to the zone itself. It has a charging module, that's correct. This module power has a charging zone. Power charging device. This list is empty. This should not be empty. We're not adding it to that list. And that happens on start charging. Yeah, obviously we shouldn't add this. We should add that. That's why it didn't work. Good. Debugging, so much fun. Actually, sometimes it is, but not always. Stop. Power charging device modules. Still empty. But it should have added it when it started charging. This also has to be this. No, that's not true. Am I looking at the wrong? So the Roomba. Oh yeah, the Roomba has the power. That's correct. The charge is not. It's not getting charged by anything. Sorry, I had it wrong. So that was back and forth, doing nothing useful. But then the question is, all right, let's just start it up again just to be sure everything's up to date. Stop. Looking at the charger. There should be another one in here. No, not really though. Yeah, it's right there, right? This one. Ah, it's this one. Dot stop charging. This. You have to stop charging me. That's what needs to happen. Right, that makes sense. Yeah, that works. They stop charging. And now I have to go back in and out. It will charge again and it will stop charging once I'm full. Look at that. Now let's do it one more time. And the most important part is now that if I go back now, it should not be any more charge. That's it. It works. Perfect. There's no more charging because this one's empty. That works. And game over. Good. How big is this script? 200 lines. That's not a lot, right? Most of them are already small functions, so I think it's okay. And it's pretty generic and flexible. So the only strange, well, not the only, one of the strange things that I still think is that I have the tool in here to save as a charger. Because the issue is if I just give this a zone as well, I could technically charge the charger with this battery, which is not necessarily the thing that I don't want, because you could then choose to like charge in either direction. Actually, what I maybe want though is that you don't charge automatically. You have to press like F or something to actually charge. And maybe you could say if you press Shift F, you charge in the other direction, which might be interesting. And then you just need to make sure that your zone is touching the power module of the other thing, which is, again, that's actually pretty cool because now I've set up a system that would allow bi-directional charging. And it's just, yeah. Why do I have errors here though? Not sent to an instance of an object. That's weird. Is it because if it's empty, it's empty, that's fine. Like then it's just empty, no? I don't understand why that's an issue. What's these warnings? Show me the warnings. It's fine. This is not relevant actually. This is not relevant anymore. Then something seems to happen. Does that not work? Oh, I changed code. Never mind. So that won't work. Rightfully so. Enumeration. So invalid operation execution collection was modified. Enumeration operation may not execute. I don't know what that means. Can I copy paste this? Modify a collection while you're iterating over it. Oh. Stop charging removes an element from this list. That's a bad thing to do. Yeah, so the problem is that I'm looping over this, but I'm also modifying that list while looping, and that's a big no-no. So it seems to work though, but it's giving an error. So now Copilot is suggesting to make a copy of that list and iterate over the copy, which is pretty valid, I guess. Just do this then. Why does this work? Not this. The list of device modules. The other thing is also a list of device modules, is it not? Zone. It's a little bit, it's device module powers though. Or no. No. Can I fix it? Fix using Copilot. What do you want to do about it? But you don't want to do that, eh? Cost doesn't exist. Power. This list can only be that of that type though. Only power modules can charge this. So actually we should just solve it like that. Which is fine. There you go, that works. All right, let's check it out. So we're making a copy now. I've never used var here, so I don't know what that actually... Wait, what's the problem? You have an issue? There we go. Some typing issues. And I think charging. Boop, boop. Charging till I'm full. Go again. course, a lot of parameters need to be fixed, and then done charging because there's nothing to do. So charging was stopped automatically and we got no errors. Got loads of logs though, so let's have a quick look and get rid of many of those. Update here, let's that's a lot of update charging status. There you go. Update charge, no logs there. Honestly, I should get rid of almost all logs at this point because they're just annoying. I'm not using any of them anyway. Oh. Don't need that, it's fine. Don't need that. That's okay. This hasn't caused any. This is actually not good because this should return. Shouldn't do power up. So that's actually an error. Device is null. Just return. There you go. Okay. I was getting a bit worried that my power module was getting too complex. But actually it's only 200 lines of code, which is not that much, I would say. I think. Hey. That kitty. And currently, I'm not expecting. Hey, want to show yourself? Want some attention? Like, I think it's doing anything I want it to do. Oh, don't sit on my keyboard. You will ruin everything. Let's quickly check the chat because I wouldn't want to miss anyone. Thus finds their way here. Which I was surprised that someone was here actually. There's quite a bit of refactoring required here, and mostly in terms of organizing. But if we just quickly go to the charging devices works, it works as much as I want it to work. So let's add it here and my refactoring that I would do off screen. Refactor power code, which is pretty boring stuff, especially to this. So there's no new art or no new features, but it's like sorting out some of these serialized fields, like putting, because these functions are all like, there might be a better order for these functions to be in. So that's something I'll also check. Right. The charging zone is not a prefab yet. So what does a charging zone do actually? The thing is that this doesn't, because I could say like, I could make a more generic version of a zone where it's just like this device module, other device module, two things that are being linked by the zone, and then a list of any objects that are now in the zone. Oh, that's true. I don't think one of these things I'm not using anymore, I think. Yeah, so this one is not actually being used anymore. It looks like it's being used, but it's not. Because I should just say here. But I shouldn't store it anymore, because I'm storing them all in here. Don't worry, don't worry. Oh, that's wrong. I only referenced them here, so because this could be a very generic thing where we say this device module. Let me quickly try. Wait, let's let's first commit because it works now. Wait, let me quickly test that because I removed some logs and I just changed one thing here. If that works, we'll commit. And since it's only been an hour for the stream, I'm not planning to start anything else in the stream because the next thing is making dust particles, making them spawn, making them pick upable, like that we can pick them up, store them, and then maybe even, because there again it's kind of the same thing. I will make like a battery or like the power storage, it will be like storage of dust particles with both a zone where you can pick them up or where you can drop them off, because then I can use it both as a spawner and pick up. That's the same module. Okay. Settle down. Yes, there. Go to sleep. Like a baby. Does this work? Yep, charging. Charging. You're done. There we go. Let's save the scene for one. Let's commit all the code. And this is definitely a feature. Is it? What was the last commit? Charging and charging zones. It's more like a bug fix, I would say, because it doesn't add something, it just fixes the thing that it wasn't ready. So let's call this a bug fix. Bug or scope of power fix charger not stopping charging when charge full, or not powered. Basically that's kind of what covers it. There we go. Now I just wanted to quickly check if I can make this like linked. Could we call it an acceptor? And the other thing are donors? No, because the thing's coming in the zone. Linked device module, but not power specifically, because we can do these things. And then list of device modules. There's gonna be loads of bugs somewhere else. You want some attention? There you go. And we could call these, we could basically call them colliding or triggered or like parked. Linked device modules, zone device modules. Let's just call it like that. Start linked device. There you go. You just go to your parent and you check which one is the linked one. As a device module, fine, which is then not necessary. Because here we get something specifically by type though, which makes it difficult to generalize. Yes, where are you going? Now we could say, we could do it the other way around, or we could say, well, let me get the type of my link device, and that will, and I'm just making, and I'm just trying to make this way too generic, and then all the code will be in here for any type of zone. And then I think it's better to just make just different types of zones: charging zone, resource zone. Actually, there's not that many zones, so I don't think it's worth it. So I'm just gonna discard all the changes I just did. But it's the same template, so I will just copy this code and then changes into resource, and then stuff will change, but it's kind of the same thing. So we'll make a prefab out of it. Quickly do that. I will not commit that because that's not really so relevant right now. So, but this zone thing is something that I definitely want to adhere to. So prefab, so we have device modules, we have devices, and then we have device zones. Actually, we should call them module zones because they belong to modules. Will this work? Why does this suddenly work though? Right, so a charger, oh, there's still an issue with the charger. The fact that it's not a, well, let me check prefab devices. Yeah, the charger, it's fine. It's not a variant yet, but let's just apply. Oh no, see, that's what. It's supposed to be like a, let's make an original prefab charger one. Now let's remove this. Let's call it just charger. There you go. And we can now populate the world with more Roombas, more chargers. This should work. I should be able to take control of all of these things at once charging. Just currently a bit stupid because everything goes so fast, but that's the kind of the point, right? So you see, I can swap between all the devices. Oh, that one's tumbling. I can help up, vacuum in. Oh, charge. Let's put it here. In the meantime, while it's charging, I take control of the other one. Blah 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 blah. Let's go charging. Switch to the switch to the other one, etc. etc. So this is basically half of the game loop. So, well, the game loop. I'm talking about the game loop of the very first part of this game. I do have another error here. This charger, I couldn't find the charging zone. Oh, that's because the new ones are, so they should by default they should not be chargers actually. With resources there will be more clear like input outputs. Here it's like bi-directional by default. But maybe we should split it up and like which one is charging which ones. But we'll come back to that. So one of these, when it's a Roomba, why doesn't it copy? Oh, this is called device, but it should be Roomba. Oh, this device is not up to date at all. I should just also delete that one. So let's go for Roomba and delete it. Oh, I was playing it, wasn't I? Yeah. Let's get rid of this device. Yes, please. That's fine. I don't need those. Wait, what? Chargers. Cool. I'm happy with this. Alright, sorry, I was a bit distracted by testing all these things here. But I think that's it for today. Did quite a lot. So I think I did 3 streams today, covering a lot of stuff. But I do want to like split them up. I don't want to do a whole day of like one single stream. But again, let's go back to the list, and then the next things we will work on is I will swap the power generator. Let's put it back here. let's just work on, because then it's a bit more exciting because it's something new. We want to generate dust particles. Let's just recapitulate what we did now, right? So where we are now is that we added the whole power system of charging, losing power, and even the chargers can lose their power. And at some point they will need to get charged. The chargers need to get charged. They need to get their power from somewhere, and that will be from a power generator, which accepts dust and converts it into power by burning it or whatever. And that kind of closes the loop. And that's like the thing that this robot does on a daily basis. And that's the starting point for where, and I hope actually when I have my first game ready, I can work a little bit also on world building, because I want to like set up some stuff like, okay, where I want to talk maybe about the world and the story a bit more. Well, let's just get to the first game. Alright, great. See you next time, and thank you for watching. Good night.